the edge, and he's going to take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks. We want to take a moment to thank all of our Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsors and hope that you'll do the same. Without them, these game broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Now let's take you to the field where Tim Parrish will bring you the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff. And go Lumberjacks! And welcome, Lumberjack fans. Tim Parrish here at Lumberjack Field. After a couple of weeks on the road, Lumberjacks are back home to take on a powerful Moscow Bears team. And it's a beautiful evening for football, about 64 degrees, a light breeze coming out of from the west, basically, southwesterly maybe. So a pretty nice evening for some football action. It is homecoming night, and the JV game just finished up as they played here tonight as well. A rough game for the JV Lumberjacks as they fell short 54-6 to the Bears of Moscow. It was actually a pretty good game in the first half. In the early part of the first half, the JV team really, the defense was doing a good job. Offense took a little bit of time getting going. At one point, it was 14-6 in favor of Moscow. And then right towards the end of the first half, things kind of opened up, and Moscow was able to kind of run away with things there late in the first half, and then ended up with his running clock in the second half. But the biggest thing was that the think about here is that the Lumberjack JV team was playing, from what I understand, Moscow has a freshman squad. So they were playing a JV squad that has a lot of varsity or a lot of juniors and sophomores on it. So it was. I mean, he squeezed it near, like, scoot over a little bit. Yeah, I think. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, right. Yeah. Hey, we are here for our senior spotlight, and today we have Lumberjack senior Gerard Dittman. Well, Gerard, we're going to get right into it. What sports do you play?
I play football, cheerleading, and track.
All right. Busy man all school year.
Yep, pretty much.
What is your favorite sport and why?
I would definitely say football is my favorite sport. It just taught me a lot about teamwork, and I really enjoy just being able to spend time with my friends.
What do you think playing sports has taught you?
Playing sports has definitely just taught me how to work with others and how to be a team, and kind of helped me just be a leader as well.
What would you say is your favorite thing about playing sports?
Definitely just having the time to be able to get closer with people and, be able to compete with others and stuff, along with all my, buddies and friends.
What is your least favorite thing?
Definitely having to practice every day. Takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of time
to try to compete at a high level.
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite pro sports teams and maybe a favorite player?
Definitely my favorite pro sports team would be the Seattle Seahawks. Been a fan of them since I was a little kid. And my favorite.
Oops, I pushed the wrong button there. We were supposed to go into commercials, and that went into our senior spotlight. Erase anything you might have heard there. We are going to take a quick break, though. We'll be back with our coach's interview here shortly.
Show your spirit and unleash your school colors with a debit MasterCard from P1FCU. With our exclusive high school and college design, you can represent your school with pride. To join the P1FCU Mascot Madness, visit P1FCU.org to see all our designs. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original, 1938, insured by NCUA.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a Lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary.
Do you have a hazardous tree on your property? Do you need some trees or brush removed in preparation for a home or shop? You need to call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing specializes in the removal of dangerous trees, pruning, thinning, and chipping. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing also has a bucket truck for those hard-to-reach areas. So if you're in need of some thinning, tree removal, and site preparation, call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. That's at 208-582-2134. That's 208-582-2134. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Idaho. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, well, well. Are you in need of a reputable, experienced, and knowledgeable well drilling and pump company? Look no further than Interstate Drilling and Pump. Interstate Drilling and Pump drills new wells, deepens existing wells, installs and repairs pumps, and does well testing both for water quality and gallons per minute. Interstate Drilling and Pump has 24 plus years of experience and served from Moscow to Rathdrum and the Silver Valley. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on their schedule today. That's Interstate Drilling and Pump, 208-245-5101. 208-245-5101, Interstate Drilling and Pump.
Tax time is here again. I know. It's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care. So you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
Janelle Martin Holmes, your Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's, is a proud Lumberjack supporter because they're her hometown team. When it comes to insurance, that's also one reason so many people in St. Mary's choose Farm Bureau insurance. They have a complete line of insurance products, including auto, home, commercial, and life. Plus, they have great customer service and competitive rates. And they're also a local company with local agents right here in St. Mary's. So let's hear it for our hometown teams. Contact Janelle Martin Holmes, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in St. Mary's at 105 North 8th Street, St. Mary's.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Got potholes.
Got it.
So Les Schwab Tires makes my job easy. With surfaces like brakes, steering, and alignment. Those cheap tire centers just throw on tires. That's it. Now, I'm not telling people how to do their job. Linker. I'm just glad Les Schwab takes safety as seriously as me.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires. Doing the right thing since 1952.
It's an arc, right?
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those lumberjacks.
Tim Parrish back here at St. Mary's Lumberjack Field, and it is homecoming night, Lumberjack Football, Potlatch's #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff. We're trying to help get our pregame maybe a little bit rough to begin with. We're trying to help get the Moscow broadcast guys set up somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and real quick jump into our pregame interview with head coach Greg Rouse. Any adventure, any task, any. Yeah, we have head coach Greg Rouse for St. Mary's Lumberjack Football as we get set, or as they get set, for the Moscow Bears for homecoming night. First, we'll talk a little bit about Kellogg's game, though, Coach. It was another tough one that probably could have easily went the way of the Jacks. Could have been a win for you guys. but had some mental mistakes and penalties that really cost the team in that game. What are your thoughts on last week's game?
You kind of hit the nail on the head there. Basically, starting off the game with a pick, almost 6. It was right down there, and then bobbling the punt, not getting away from it and letting it hit, and give them another quick score, 2 scores back to back when a close game like that. Just to start off with, that was kind of a bum deal, and then just we fumbled going in, and we just made some mistakes. It was just a lot of mental errors for whatever reason. I think the kids were playing hard and fast. We were doing, made some good defensive stops. We were struggling, making, a lot of penalties and stuff on offense, and it just kind of killed, a lot of drives for us, being able to do that. We needed to convert, and so it's kind of that idea of, playing clean and playing, finishing drives and being able to do that. And again, all stuff that's correctable. So, it's not another team's physically beating us. We're still beating ourselves. It's a young team, and they're continuing to make these young mistakes in the moment, and we got to get them to kind of iron that out and work through it. And so that's what we've been practicing.
What were the positives out of that game that you've seen in it?
The positives were, we competed. Again, we weren't, we played physical with the team. We were able to, execute defensively and do the things we wanted to, as far as doing that. But we were struggling, like I said, with the penalties and on our offensive, finishing our third downs and long, stuff like that, converting on third down. That was the stuff we need to clean up. But otherwise, I saw some good stuff, and then I saw a lot of mistakes that we can fix.
All right, and with the league could be a kind of a tough league this year, we don't really fully know the potential of, say, Orfino and Priest River this year. Grangeville is always pretty tough. Kellogg obviously got the win over us last week. 0-1 in the league. Does it make it more important maybe to pick up a non-league win with 2 non-league wins games left? Does it make it more important for Max Preps and stuff to get one of those as a win?
Well, definitely. It's just, I think mentally we need to win, that kind of thing. And you always want to win. It's one of those, is it absolutely required? No, we could still run the league, for the last 3 games, that kind of thing, and play it out. But we need to focus and win. We scrimmaged a bunch with Moscow, before in the summer when we did different passing leagues, and we did really well against them. So my hope is the kids have seen these kids, they know them. We scrimmaged them 5 times, and so it's a chance to be able to see that we put it out. They're playing really well right now. They're doing a good job. They're a heavy passing team, and we need to be able to shut down the pass.
All right, we're talking with head coach Greg Rouse. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about the Moscow Bears a little bit.
Anytime. There's a Yamaha utility ATV for any ride and any rider. See the full lineup at St. Mary's Dawn Cycle. Adventure seekers can start with the trail-tested capability and comfort of the Yamaha Grizzly lineup. For the ultimate in mid-size ATV performance, check out the Yamaha Kodiak 450. And for those who mix work and pleasure, the Yamaha Kodiak 700 line devours chores and leaves room for adventure. Find your utility ATV at St. Mary's Dawn Cycle or YamahaMotorsports.com. ATVs are recommended for use only by riders aged 16 years and older. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. Yamaha recommends an approved training course. For safety and training information, see your dealer or call 1-800-887-2887. Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need, from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler drops in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goal. Hughes Ace Hardware to the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time.
And we're back. We're talking with head coach Greg Rouse as the Lumberjacks get set to take on the Bears. And just before the break, you kind of touched a little bit on Moscow. They are in town tonight, of course. They have been kind of a surprise this year a little bit. Some of the people out there said, oh, wow, where's this Moscow team come from all of a sudden? Their quarterback, Noah Velasco, is actually number 1 in the state for passing yards. What do you know about their quarterback and the Bears?
Well, like I said, before we went to the break, they're a spread passing team. They're really good at it. They've worked at it. Coach Bathis has done a great job down there. This is, I believe, his 3rd or 4th year. He's been trying to turn that program around. because we do compete with them in the summers and passing leagues and stuff. I get to know them, as far as doing that, and they've got a great quarterback. I mean, he's a good, smart quarterback. He's throwing well. They have a nice group of receivers, and they're going to throw the ball. I mean, that's their goal, that's their aim. But we matched up well with them in the summer, like I said. So I think if we play our game and we execute and eliminate these mistakes, I think we can compete with them, and it'll be a good game.
You mentioned playing with them in the summer in some scrimmages. That was mostly the 7-on-7 drills you did with them.
Yeah.
Does that help in preparing?
Yeah, it does. We scrimmaged them independently twice, and then we were in the passing league for 4 more during the summer when we're in there, and that's with Lewiston, Clarkston, Pullman, and Moscow, and then us are in that league. And so, it helps us, it prepares us to, understand who are their main guys, their receivers, what they like to do. So our guys are familiar with them as far as, what routes they like, what, concepts they like to use. And so it's just going to be, who can do a good, clean game and, stop the pass in this case.
Yeah. So with that, our final question, like same one's been every week. What do you want to see out of the Lumberjacks tonight?
I want to see us be able to shut down the pass. We need to be able to, stop the long ball, contain this passing offense. If we can, cover their explosive plays, which they, are known for, and we shut those down, I think we have a really good chance to beat these guys. The run game is not a concern. You still got to honor it, but it's really their explosive plays and their passing game is what's hurting people. The teams they've been playing. I think if we can corral that, shut that down, and then play our game, move our offense, and do it cleanly without the mistakes, then I think we're fine. And that's really our goal, is to see that our offense executes and finishes drives.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck tonight, and thanks for talking to us, and go Jacks.
Go Jacks.
This has been our interview with head coach Greg Rouse. We'll take another quick break and come back with more of our pregame here on KOFE.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to savings. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff, and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the hot deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to savings.
Jack Fuel Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses, and most importantly, people. Jack Fuel Trucking believes in the responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, if you take a close look, those aren't just chips. They're an entire community. Jack Fuel Trucking.
Tim Parrish back here at St. Mary's High School, Lumberjack Field. It is homecoming night as your Lumberjacks get set to do battle with the Moscow Bears from Moscow, Idaho. And we'll talk about Moscow in a little bit. Right now, let's get into our Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff. As we've gone through kind of the weather, field conditions. Field is in good condition, nice shape, no, not muddy or nothing. Had some rain last week, but it's dried up pretty nicely since then. Taking a look at the Central Idaho League, Grangeville still sits atop the standings, 1-0 in league, 3-0 overall. They beat New Plymouth last week, 36-26, and this week they are at McCall Donnelly. The Grangeville Bulldogs currently 7th in the Max Preps rankings. Kellogg sits in second with a 1-0 league record, 1-2 overall. Beat the Lumberjacks last week, 34-22 in Kellogg. They are hosting Timberlake tonight, and they are currently 13th in the power rankings on Max Preps. The Orofino Maniacs have not played a league matchup just yet. 1-1 overall. Lost 55-0 to Payette last week, and they are hosting at Salmon tonight. I thought they were at Salmon last week. They are at Salmon tonight. They are 21st in the Max Preps rankings. Priest River, the Spartans, 0-1 in league, 0-2 overall. Lost 20-12 at Newport last week in Washington. They are hosting Kettle Falls, Washington tonight. They are 18th in the power rankings. And the St. Mary's Lumberjacks. It's been quite a while since we've seen St. Mary's at the bottom of the standings, but kind of an off start for the Lumberjacks, slow start. 0-1 in league play, 0-3 overall, lost 34-22 at Kellogg last week, and 17th in the Max Preps power rankings. In the polls and power rankings, for Idaho Sports power rankings, the top 5 is Ryrie, North Fremont, Westside, Declo, and Aberdeen. In the coaches poll, it's Westside, Aberdeen, North Fremont, Declo, and Ryrie, the top 5. In the media polls, it is Westside, Aberdeen, North Fremont, Declo, and Firth in the top 5. And then the Max Preps rankings, we have, these are the ones that count, Westside, Aberdeen, Declo, North Fremont, and Ryrie. As we all know, they kind of, you get your district champions in right off the conference champions right into the playoffs, and then they seed at-large bids out of Max Preps. So that is the polls and power rankings. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more of the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to kick off live from Lumberjack Field. It is homecoming night as your Lumberjacks host the Moscow Bears. You're listening to the home of Lumberjack Sports, 1240 KOFE, St. Mary's.
Sometimes accidents happen. You never thought it would happen to you, but it did. Where can you turn for that friendly hand of support? Jack's Pharmacy is your good neighbor pharmacy in St. Mary's, where you'll find personalized care. Whether you need crutches, supports, wheelchairs, or even a hospital bed, Jack's is here for you. We service both Medicare and Medicaid. If you need durable medical equipment, come to Jack's, your good neighbor pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Minnewaska, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work, M&S do that. Updates and recaps, including Lakeside, Kootenai, and of course, St. Mary's High School. Pick up your copy of the St. Mary's Gazette Record every Wednesday. Not only will they have game recaps and highlights for area high school sports action, but local news and information. St. Mary's Gazette Record, pick up a copy today. Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack down to kickoff, brought to you by Potlatch Credit Union, live from Lumberjack Field. Homecoming night for your Lumberjacks, taking on the Moscow Bears. Taking a look at the sports from around the county, so we'll take a quick look at the Lakeside Knights and the Kootenai Warriors. Lakeside volleyball off to a pretty good start this season. 2-1 in league play, 3-1 overall. They had no score reported as of yesterday, I think, or no, up today from their Clarkford game that they played on the 19th. They will be at Coeur de Christ Academy on the 24th. Lakeside football off to a really good start. 3-0 in league, 3-0 overall. Beat Wallace last week by a score of 70-48. They seem to be in a bye week this week, and then we'll be at Genesee on the 27th. So Tyson Charlie and the Lakeside Knights having a very good start to their football season. Kootenai Warriors, they don't have football this year. They have some of their players coming here and playing with the Lumberjacks, but their volleyball team is sitting at 1-3 in league play, 2-3 overall. They lost 3-0 to Coeur de Christ Academy on the 19th, 3-0. They are hosting Mullen on the 24th. That's been a look around the county in sports. We'll take a quick break, come back with more of the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to kick off.
For all your plumbing needs, call Nick's Plumbing and Heating. With Nick's professional staff, you can be assured of guaranteed quality products, installation, service, and repair of all of your plumbing. So if you have plumbing needs or problems, call the good folks at Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Call 245-5460. That's 245-5460. Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Installation, service, and repair when you need it. Nick's Plumbing and Heating, St. Mary's.
When you need that morning pick-me-up before work or school, there's one place that comes to mind. It's a place that loves our community, the St. Mary's Lumberjacks, and all the local businesses and people in our village. Shift and Grind in St. Mary's is all about the community. Whether it's helping raise money for the Booster Club or for a family in need, the Shift and Grind family are always ready to help. So be sure to stop by Shift and Grind for your caffeinated needs. Located at 132 First Street in St. Mary's, Shift and Grind says, go Lumberjacks!
Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack Field, and again, it is homecoming night for your Lumberjacks as they host the Moscow Bears. Taking a look at your Lumberjack statistics so far on this early part of the season, actually midway through, this is the fourth game. The Lumberjacks averaging just 18 points per game so far this year. Yards per game, 263. Passing yards per game, 120. Rushing yards per game, 143. Averaging about 17 yards per pass attempt and 4 yards per carry. So not bad overall in those numbers. The biggest thing that hurts the Lumberjacks, and we'll talk about it more a little bit later, is actually last game it was penalties, but it's just kind of slow starts for them. They just don't quite get going early enough. St. Mary's has lost 4 fumbles and thrown 3 interceptions. Third down conversions for the Lumberjacks, another spot they're struggling. Kind of leaves that offensive slow starts, 26% on third downs and just 33% on fourth down conversions. Offensive leaders for St. Mary's, quarterback Jack Barta Jr., he's 20 of 46 on the season, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been sacked 5 times. Julian Seja Grimaldo, senior, he's a wingback, and he has 10 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown, 45 yards per game. He has a long of 42. Brock Barta Jr., he also plays in a wingback position, and 16 carries for him, 111 yards, no touchdowns, 37 yards per game, a long of 39. Gerard Dittman, he is the senior running back. He has 39 carries for 130 yards, 43 yards per game, 46 long on the season. Receiving, Julian Grimaldo, a senior, 7 catches on the year, 150 yards, 1 touchdown. He's averaging 21 yards per reception, 50 yards per game, and has a long of 56 on the year. And Isaiah Gustav, he's been a little bit quiet the last couple of games. Looking for him to have a big one here any time soon. He is a junior wide receiver, 3 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. The bulk of that yardage came on a 61-yard touchdown reception in game number 1 here against Sandpoint. So that is a look at the offense. Defensively, the Lumberjacks giving up 37 yards per game, 37 points per game, 320 yards per game. Getting 151 yards passing, 169 yards rushing. Third down conversions, 33% for the opponent. So St. Mary's isn't doing bad defensively, stopping teams on third down. They've given up quite a few fourth down conversions, and the bad thing with that is it's been fourth down and long on some of those. So they need to kind of get that corrected on the defensive side. Fourth down conversions, 50% for the opponents. Forced fumbles, they've had forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries. For St. Mary's, we have not had an interception just yet on the season. Lumberjacks are currently -4 in the turnover battle, and they have sacked the opposing quarterback 2 times. Defensive leaders, Aiden Yearout, a junior, 21 tackles on the season so far. Not too far behind him is senior Hayden DeFort with 19 tackles. Julian Grimaldo right there as well as a senior with 19 tackles. And junior Amato Stewart has 17 tackles, 2 tackles for loss on the year. Kyle Smith and Donnie Morris each have 1 sack apiece for the Lumberjack defense. We're going to take a break, come back with more of the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to Kickoff right after a word from our sponsors.
If you know which side of a saw cuts wood, and if you can hammer a nail, you can do it yourself. Carpentry, construction, finishing, or framing, around here, you've got it made. You've got 10th Street Lumber. At 10th Street Lumber, we have the answers to your building and repair project questions. Every day, 10th Street Lumber helps homeowners get quality results. For lumber, block, power tools, fixtures, everything you need for a professional job, Don't pick up a nail until you shop 10th Street Lumber. 10th Street Lumber on the corner of 10th and Railroad Avenue in St. Mary.
Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oaks at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oaks a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255.
Fall is coming and, of course, cold weather. Now's the time to stock up on a few things. XXX Feeds has magnetic wood pellets in stock, and it's never too early to be ready for the cold weather. XXX Feeds also has alfalfa in stock as well as straw. And if you have some four-legged woodland friends that look a little hungry, XXX Feeds can keep you loaded up on deer feed and deer blocks. Don't wait until the last minute. Stop by XXX Feeds in St. Mary's today.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Idaho so special? They do. You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack Field. It is homecoming night. Your Lumberjacks hosting the Moscow Bears. This is the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union Countdown to kickoff. The Lumberjacks, once again, they had a bit of a slow start last week against Kellogg. It put them in a 14-0 hole early on, as they were 14-0 through about 1.5 quarters for St. Mary's down in Kellogg. St. Mary's was able to score twice in the second quarter, though. They went into the half 20-14, down 20-14. And right there, they had a few back and forth scores in the second half, and it was really just a one possession game all the way until that final minute and a half or 2 minutes of Kellogg's possession in the end, when Kellogg scored late in the fourth to really put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. And that's how it got to that 34-22 game. But it was a very close game, highly competitive all the way through, and it was a game that I feel like St. Mary's, they could have won, just like, again, Bonners Ferry, maybe they should have won. But St. Mary's kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with penalties and mental errors in that first half, a little bit in the second half too. A couple of turnovers didn't help, as they had one interception thrown early on, a muffed punt that was recovered by Kellogg, and both of those, I think, resulted in scores. And then they had a fumble later on when they were down deep in the Kellogg side of the field. So those things that they just are right there, get those items cleaned up, ball security. And, this is a very competitive Lumberjack team. I think that they can compete with just about any team they play if they can get those mental errors and those mistakes cleaned up. Again, they don't get easier tonight. They are facing an undefeated Moscow team. Moscow likes to throw the ball. They are definitely a passing team. St. Mary's has not been the most consistent defensively in pass coverage, so we'll see what they do tonight. The Jacks are changing things up a little bit in the secondary to help with pass defense. I think I heard coach say they're going to a three-safety look in the secondary. So they're taking one guy off the defensive line and bringing in an extra pass coverage guy. So they're trying to buffer up or strengthen up that pass coverage for this throwing team. And we'll see how well that's going to work out. One of the games I did watch was about 65-40 or 65-35, 60-40 on Moscow. They like to pass and then throw, or then they run. So they do run or pass more, and they do throw a little, or throw more and run sometimes, kind of. So we'll see what they do tonight against St. Mary's. Take a quick break, and we'll come back and look at the Moscow Bears.
St. Mary's Realty is a St. Mary's icon. Why? Because they are a team. They work for you. And they've been a team for many years. Whether you are buying your first home, looking for a recreational cabin, or selling your current home, St. Mary's Realty puts their team on it for you. So stop in or give them a call today at 245-4502 and let their team be your team. That's St. Mary's Realty at 726 Main Avenue, St. Mary's.
You're listening to the home of Lumberjack Sports, 1240 KOFE, St. Mary's. We are back. Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kickoff as the Moscow Bears here in town to take on the Lumberjacks on homecoming night. Tim Parrish at Lumberjack Field. And the Moscow Bears this year for football, they are in the 4A Intermountain League, which used to be the 3A. Typically, Moscow is up in that 5A rank, is what is now the 5A rank. They petitioned to play down a little bit. They've had a rough couple of years, so they're just kind of trying to get their program rolling, get that confidence built, and they're off to a good start this year. They are 4-0 overall, 4th in Max Preps rankings in their conference, 36th in the state of Idaho is their rankings. They beat Kellogg 43-0. They beat Caldwell 54-0. They beat Clarkston, both Washington schools, 19-6, or not Caldwell. Caldwell is Idaho. They beat Pullman, a Washington school, 26-25 last week in overtime. So they've got some pretty good wins in their win column this year. They were 1-7 last year, 0-2 in league, and they were 4-20 over the last 3 years. So they're just trying to get that program back on track. They have a really solid season this year. They might even bump. I think it's a 2-year rotation, so I don't think they can bump back up until the year after. So we'll see what happens. But the Moscow Bears are no slouch. Their head coach is Rob Baptist in his 3rd year as a coach. Some key returners to look out for on the Moscow sideline. Keaton Fry, he was a sophomore league offensive newcomer of the year last year. Noah Velasco, he is their senior quarterback. He was all-league quarterback last year. He is #1 in Idaho in passing yards. Connor Isaacson, he's a senior all-league wide receiver from last year and all-league kick returner. Butch Kiblin, he was not listed necessarily in their stuff on Idaho Sports, but he is their senior wide receiver. He is #5 in the state in receiving yards with 389. There was nothing listed on key players lost or incoming impact guys. The Bears, like I said, have had a rough couple of 3 years, going 4-20. This year, though, they have started out hot with 4 straight wins. They have notable wins over a couple of tough Washington schools. The Bears are a team that knows how to throw the ball. They do it really good. Their senior quarterback, Noah Velasco, he's #1 in the state for passing yards. He currently has 1,174 yards, 13 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. Their leading receiver, I mentioned a minute ago, Butch Kiblin, he leads the team with 389 yards. He also has 7 of the team's 13 touchdowns in the passing game. They like to run the spread offense, and they only average about 55 yards per game rushing. So that just tells you they do not run the ball a lot. Defensively, they like to run a 3-4, and they are pretty sound on the defensive side. They allow just 8 points per game. They have recorded 4 sacks on the season and 6 interceptions. They've also recovered 6 fumbles. Ball security and taking care of that ball, making smart throws by Jack is going to be key to one of the keys for St. Mary's tonight. Again, key is them not getting off to a slow start. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of the Potlatch #1 Federal Credit Union countdown to kick off after this. I didn't realize it looked like they put more time on the scoreboard, so my pregame can go a little bit longer.
Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat, located next to Harvest Foods in St. Mary's. Open 24 hours, we have washers and dryers of all sizes to get your laundry done quickly. If you'd like to get your laundry done in less than 5 minutes, take advantage of our drop-off laundry service where we wash, dry, and fold it for you. While you do your laundry, be sure to take advantage of our touchless automatic car wash, which has that great undercarriage spray to get the grime off. Riverbend Car Wash and Laundromat can be found at riverbendbubbles.com or call 208-582-4844.
Whistle Stop Coffee and More has come a long way from the little shop on Railroad Avenue. How far? Not only did they upgrade their Railroad Avenue location, they added a second location. That second location for Whistle Stop Coffee and More is on 313 St. Joe River Road. Both locations offer tasty drinks of coffee, Red Bull, or Lotus Energy, and food options, from acai bowls to cookies and delicious bagel sandwiches. Whistle Stop Coffee and More is the perfect stop for a quick bite and a drink on your way to work or school. Whistle Stop Coffee and More in St. Mary's. Does your furry friend need a bath? Don't want to deal with the hassle and the mess from bathing your furry friend? Make an appointment with Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop today. Barks and Bubbles, located at 402 North 10th Street in St. Mary's, will have your furry friend looking and feeling like $1,000,000 in no time. And guess what? No mess at home, no scratches, and no getting soaked from head to toe. Let Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop handle the work. Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop also offers pet boarding. Call for an appointment today at 208-245-5755. That's 208-245-5755. Barks and Bubbles Groom Shop in St. Mary's.
Show your spirit and unleash your school colors with a debit MasterCard from P1 FCU. With our exclusive high school and college design, you can represent your school pride. To join the P1 FCU Mascot Madness, visit P1FCU.org to see all our designs. P1 FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938. Insured by NCUA.
Tim Parrish back here at Lumberjack Field. It is homecoming night for your Lumberjacks. And, they've got a tough opponent here tonight. That tough opponent wants to spoil St. Mary's. Wants to be the spoiler and the underdog getting that upset tonight. So we'll see what happens. The Lumberjacks, the Bears, they have not really played any. I can't remember if we've really ever played them since I've been doing games for St. Mary's in football. They have squared off a bit this year in the off season. They've had some little scrimmages. They played. I think they might have played each other at the Idaho Vandal Camp. They have done some 7-on-7 competitions. St. Mary's held their own and actually beat the Bears in some of them. But the thing is, the 7-on-7 doesn't include offensive and defensive lines, so the quarterbacks don't have any pressure on them. So I believe that if the Jacks can put together a full game tonight, they can get out to a quick start offensively. They can compete or even beat the Bears or any other team for that matter, but they're going to have to play clean, disciplined football, not turn the ball over, and they just can't give up 14, 21 points before they get on the board. That's the biggest thing that's been hurting St. Mary's this year so far. So it could be what's considered a trap game for Moscow, honestly, because they could come in overlooking the Lumberjacks. We've just got to see what Lumberjack team or what St. Mary's comes out tonight, how they do. Again, this is no slouch of a Moscow team, and St. Mary's will have their hands full tonight. So either way it goes, it's going to be, I think, hopefully a fun ball game tonight for the Lumberjacks. Taking a look at some other sports, Lumberjack boys soccer 0-6 overall, 0-6 in lead. They lost 3-0 to Grangeville yesterday. They are at Priest River on the 23rd. Or no, that was on Wednesday. The girls soccer team 1-5 overall, 1-5 in league. They lost 2-0 to Grangeville on the 18th. They will also be at Priest River on the 23rd. Volleyball, they are 0-4 in league, 3-7 overall. Lost 3-0, 3-0 to Grangeville last night. They will be hosting Kellogg on the 24th. The Vandals, they are 2-1. They beat Albany 41-13 last week. They are at Abilene Christian tomorrow. Boise State is 1-1. They lost to Oregon 37-34 in their last game. They'll be playing Portland on Saturday. The Seahawks 2-0 on the season. They beat the Patriots last week in overtime 23-20. They will be hosting the Dolphins tomorrow or Sunday. They'll be playing at 1 p.m. And the Seattle Kraken, they will be hosting or having their first preseason game on the 22nd of September. They will be hosting the Calgary Flames. So there is a little bit of information on that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with that almost wraps up our countdown to kickoff. We've got some community events coming up that we'll let you know about coming up after this.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and